Yeah, good morning, students. Are you there? Yeah, today, as we discussed yesterday, today I am going to discuss about the some gain calculations, critical gain calculations, and some associated problems of PI controller. So these derivations are very important, and nowhere you can find these derivations. But problems are very important. Those will come from these critical gain calculations and two area control and uncontrolled case and controlled case. So yesterday also we have discussed four problems, and today we have one derivation. Yesterday also I have promised you to explain this critical gain of PI controller. So, I'm sharing this derivation with you. So actually everyone knows that this is a proportional plus integral controller. What is the main purpose of this proportional plus integral controller? That is nothing but it simply makes steady state error, that is the steady state error in the frequency, that is especially delta f is nothing but it will make to be, it will be adjusted to 0. That is the main importance of this PI controller, and PI controller is connected in isolated power system. In every area the PI controller is, it is mandatory, it will be there in order to see the frequency deviations are within the acceptable limits. Now this I think everybody knows about this. And in two area control, in addition to this, we are also going to monitor, that is the tie line power in area 1 and area 2. So uh, so these are the two important parameters. Always these two parameters must and should be within the acceptable range. So in order to adjust or in order to keep these two parameters within the acceptable range, so a controller is required. That controller is nothing but PI controller. So that is an integral controller. So that PI controller is nothing but it will provide a input signal, that is nothing but the delta PC. That is the delta PC is nothing but the frequency changer settings. So that is the delta PC. It will be adjusted that minus integration over Ki into delta f of t into dt. So this delta f of t is nothing but the area control error. This area control error, we are going to tap it from here, from the output, and it will be extended like this, and it will be given. Suppose in the previous case, suppose if there is no PI controller, suppose if there is no PI controller, this signal is nothing but this will be directly delta PC. But this delta PC only, instead of adjusting directly, instead of providing delta PC directly to the isolated power system, this will be generated by developing an equation, developing a signal like minus integration over Ki into delta f of t into dt. This is nothing but the delta PC signal. This is nothing but like this we are going to generate a signal. Now that signal is with the help of area control error, and that will be fed to the remaining power system like this. So this is nothing but this is the PI controller. So here the problem is this PI controller, in the PI controller there will be a gain. That gain is nothing but the Ki, gain of the PI controller, or gain of the proportional integrator. How much it should be there? What should be the value of this Ki? Because this the main intention of this PI controller is nothing but this we are going to use in our generator load model in order to keep this delta f is equal to 0. So in order to do this, how much of this Ki should be there? The gain is very important in the PI controller. How much, what should be the value of this PI controller's gain? So that gain is nothing but a gain, minimum gain is required. That gain is nothing but the Ki critical. So Ki critical is nothing but this is the minimum gain required to make the frequency to be 0. The delta f is equal to 0 if you are expecting, then it will be done with the help of PI controller. Then the next problem is how much, what should be the value of this Ki? Is it 0, is it 1, or is it 0.1, is it 0.2, or infinity, or how much, what should be the value of this Ki? That is a minimum value required to keep this frequency to be 0. So there must be a value like that, it is compulsory. So here in today's class I am making an attempt to identify that particular gain value. That gain is nothing but the Ki critical value. So this is nothing but the critical gain calculation, critical gain of PI controller. So these are the common things. So here the dynamic response is very important, because in the dynamic response only, in the steady state response what happens, in the steady state response straight away, in the steady state response the waveform may be like this. Roughly if you are taking a waveform, now roughly if you are taking a waveform, so this is nothing but it is a time t, and this is nothing but the delta f of t, delta f of t. So initially there may be a large oscillations, but after some time these oscillations may be dies out. Let us assume from here onward the oscillations are completely dies out. So this period is nothing but the steady state period. So in the steady state period, whatever the delta f value, so that is straight away 0. So this will be done because of the PI controller. So up to this oscillation, the oscillations are there, that is nothing but it is a transient period, or this is the dynamic period. So in this topic, we are using this dynamic words. So if you want to identify the effectiveness of this PI controller in making this change in the frequency to be 0, so which type of response is required? Is it steady state or dynamic response? So dynamic response is required. So already we have studied the steady state response, and we have derived, finally we have shown this delta f under steady state is equal to 0 also. I think we have discussed much about this steady state response, but only dynamic response is nothing but what the portion we have not discussed so far. Now this dynamic response is highly required for us to know the effectiveness of this PI controller. So already in the dynamic response what happens, now order automatically it will be increased, order increased. So taking the partial fractions or anything, or directly converting this delta f of s into time domain is nothing but it is a time consuming process and tedious process also. So that's why we are going to take some approximations. That approximations are nothing but the time constant of the speed governor, time constant of the turbine we are going to approximate to 0, and the linkage mechanism, the links in the governor, the product is adjusted such that it is equal to 1. So these two are nothing but these two are very very important approximations. Generally these two are taking whenever you are talking about the dynamic response, but in the steady state response not required, only kg into kt is equal to 1 is enough. But in the dynamic response these two are compulsory. You have to take these approximations in order to simplify our calculations to know the dynamic response of that particular system. Only the problem is now with the PI controller order automatically it will be increased. So order increases means initially the system itself it will be at higher order, again order increases means it takes so much of time to get the response of that particular system, because in this dynamic response directly we are converting Laplace transform to the time domain by taking the inverse Laplace transform. So in view of this, let us take some few simple simplifications. That is nothing but the speed governor and time constant of the speed governor and time constant of the turbine is equal to 0, and speed governor and turbine, the product of gains among these two is also equal to 1. And then you go back to the PI controller in that now see here in this one, the product of these two is nothing but straight away. So ksg into kt is nothing but the 1, and denominator also 1 plus stsg. Stsg is nothing but 0, so tt is also 0. 1 into 1 is nothing but 1. So finally in this you can replace these two blocks, and here you can write only 1. Now this is the one, and this is kps and 1 plus htps, anyhow it will be there. So this is minus ki by s and s, and this is s. So the same thing, this simply you can reduce this one into a simple block diagram, that is, so initially what it is happening here. So this is the summer. Now for this summer, now this is nothing but the 1 by r, it is given to the negative plate. So this is nothing but minus ki by s, and we are going to, now this value is nothing but, there are two blocks are there, the two blocks you can replace with one. So this is minus delta pd, so this is positive, this is also positive. So this value is kps by 1 plus štps, and this value is nothing but the delta f of s. So these two will be fed from this. So this is the signal here. So so now finally how many inputs are acting? This is nothing but the finally one input. So as per our conventional model, let us represent this is positive, this is the minus delta pd, and the forward path gain is nothing but that is equal kps by 1 plus štps, and this is nothing but the delta f of s. Now from this point to this point, so this is nothing but the, this is the path is nothing but it is a forward path. So from here to here, this is nothing but it is a feedback path. In the feedback path, now this one is there, and whatever the resultant of these two blocks are nothing but starting at the same point, starting and terminating also at the same summer point. So this is the positive plate, this is the minus plate. So these two are exactly starting and terminating point is same. So the equivalent of this is nothing but these two are in parallel. So these two are in parallel means the resultant of this is nothing but, so that will be there in the feedback path. So the resultant is nothing but the addition of that. So minus ki by s, and this is negative plate is there. So negative plate, if you are making it as a positive, this becomes minus. So this is minus 1 by r. And afterwards, you can take minus as a common here. So this is ki by s plus 1 by r, and this will be coming from delta f of s. So this is the case, because anyhow 1 is there. Now even if you are multiplying with 1, you need not represent that, you can directly give it. And next simplification is, you can remove minus from here, and you can assign this plate of the summer to which this particular block is connected. So this is the minus delta pd is the input, delta f of s is nothing but the output, this is the place, and this is minus, right? What about the transfer function? Now for this particular one, in this one you can find out the characteristic equation. What is that characteristic equation? 1 plus g of s into h of s is nothing but this is equal to 0. So 1 plus g of s is how much? Kps by 1 plus štps divided by g of s into h of s. Sorry, this is g of s. Sorry, I'm extremely sorry. So this is 1 plus g of s is 1 plus štps into h of s is nothing but the total value is nothing but the ki by s plus 1 by r. So this is 1 plus kps by 1 plus štps into ki by s plus 1 by r. This value is equal to 0. Now just if you are taking the LCM of this whole equation, now this is sr into 1 plus štps. Then what about the next value? This is 1 plus štps into sr plus kps into this value is nothing but the r into ki plus s. This value is equal to 0. And if you are cross multiplying this whole equation, then the resultant value is nothing but the sr plus S square plus R into TPS. This is the first time I'm removing the bracket. I'm taking the individual multiplication. SR plus S square plus S square into R TPS plus R KPS KI plus S into KPS. This value is equal straight away. This is 0. So just higher term is nothing but S square into R TPS plus S if you are taking, there are two terms are there, this one and this one. S if you are taking the common, this is R plus KPS plus R into KPS into KI is equal to 0. Just throughout this equation, if you are multiplying with RTPS, then the resultant value is S square plus S into R by RTPS plus KPS by RTPS plus R KPS KI by R TPS is equal to 0. So what about the next simplification? S square plus S into RR gets cancelled. This is 1 by TPS plus KPS, and there is no any cancellation terms here. So the straight away this value is nothing but the KPS by RTPS. So plus RR gets cancelled. Next one is KPS into KI by TPS. This value is nothing but this is 0. So this is a polynomial, is a second order polynomial. If you want, if uh, if you want to say whether it is a stable or unstable, means we had to calculate the locations of the poles. So in that locations of the poles, now this expression, that is b square minus 4ac. So what is the expression now? The s1 comma s2 are nothing but minus b plus or minus square root of b square minus 4ac. Now this b square minus 4ac, if you want to say the system is stable. Now finally, why we are talking about the stability means, because PI controller is meant for what? Now this is used to make steady state value to be 0. So delta f is equal to 0. So in that cases, what should be the imaginary value? Imaginary value, which is nothing but b square minus 4ac, it must be equal to 0 in order to achieve this delta f as nothing but which is the change in the frequency under steady state is equal to 0. So the same logic I am also using here. So the locations of the poles, if you want to say the system to be stable, means now compulsory this b square minus 4ac, it must and should be equal to 0. So that is the same thing I am taking here. So b square is nothing but 1 by TPS plus, or otherwise you can take 1 by TPS as a common. This is 1 plus KPS by R. Yes. So 1 by TPS, if you are taking the common, 1 plus KPS by R and TPS. So this is whole square minus 4. A is 1 and C is nothing but KPS into KI by TPS is equal to 0. So this value is, this is you can take KPS as also common from the first term, KPS by TPS. This value is nothing but the 1 by KPS if you are taking it as a common, plus 1 by R whole square minus, or you can send this whole equation to the right side. This is the KPS by TPS into KI. So this is happened at what value of the K? So KI critical. So this Ki is nothing but, this is nothing but the Ki critical. So this is the same expression I am taking here. So because of the space constraint I am writing here, please accept me. Now this is the KPS by TPS, on right side also one KPS by TPS is there. So this is the whole square. So the resultant value is nothing but the KPS by TPS, one value it will be there. So this 1 by KPS is nothing but B plus 1 by R. This is whole square is equals 4 into KI critical. So what about the KI critical value? Now KI critical is nothing but, so this KPS by TPS. So let me calculate that. KPS by TPS is nothing but Whatever the KPS, this is 1 by B into TPS is how much? This is nothing but the 2H by B into F naught. BB gets cancelled. Remaining one is F naught by 2H. So KPS by TPS is nothing but 1 by 4 into KPS by TPS is nothing but the F naught by 2H into B plus 1 by R whole square. So this total value is F naught by 8H B plus 1 by R whole square. So this is nothing but the Ki critical. So this is the expression we are going to use to calculate critical values. So Ki critical is nothing but F naught by 8H into B plus 1 by R. Okay. Now this F naught is nothing but the nominal frequency. 8 into H is nothing but, what is this H? It is nothing but the inertia constant. And B is nothing but, this B value is nothing but, it is a damping coefficient plus 1 by R is nothing but the regulation. So K critical is nothing but F naught by 8H into B plus 1 by R whole square. So this much of value is required in order to keep the change in the frequency at steady state value, value in the frequency to be 0. So whatever the minimum value required is nothing but F naught by 8H into B plus 1 by R whole square. So this is the formula we are going to use to solve some of the problems here. So this is the first problem. Now here, for a isolated integral controlled power system, find the value of Ki critical. Now just now I have explained the Ki critical derivation also. The same thing here you have to write. The system parameters are given below. Whatever the values they have given: total capacity 1000 megawatt, load 600 megawatt, inertia constant 5 seconds, the nominal operating frequency is 50 Hz, and the system is increased by 1% if the system frequency is 1%. So this is the last line. This value is nothing but 1% to 1%. We are going to make use to determine B is equals dou PD by dou F. So 0.01 of whatever the total demand, load is nothing but 600 towards 0.01 into 50. So this is the formula we are going to use to determine the B value, right? Next, R. Any information is available on the R? No, this is not given here. And H is straight away they have given 5 seconds. Is not given R. So sorry, regulation also they have given. Regulation is 4%. So R is equals 4%. So 4% is nothing but 0.04 into 50. So this is the value for R. So R we have calculated, B also we have calculated. F they have given, that is a nominal frequency. Nominal operating frequency is 50. H is given. Directly you substitute here, you will get Ki critical. So we don't have any units for Ki critical, but the formula, the derivation is very, very important. Ki critical is equal to F naught by 8H into B plus 1 by R whole square. So this value is nothing but 0.3278. So this is the one important problem. So this problem is nothing but it has its own data to determine the Ki critical, as well as you have to derive the expression for Ki critical. So first important thing is nothing but whenever if anybody asks us to determine the Ki critical, first thing is nothing but you have to calculate the dynamic response. Now whatever the dynamic response, now in the dynamic response directly we are going to determine delta f of s to the time domain function. So it is a time consuming process, so that's why in order to simplify this we are going to take some approximations, that is nothing but the TSG and TT is approximately to be 0 and KSG into KT is nothing but it is equal to 1. So you take these two approximations and you substitute there, then automatically that will be simplified. Then after that you find out the characteristic equation, that is by using 1 plus G of s into H of s is equal to 0. Then after that you equate B square minus 4AC is equal to 0, because this is the term, it completely eliminates the imaginary parts. So B square minus 4AC is equal to 0, which is nothing but the roots of the characteristic equation. So if you are simplifying this, Now this, when it will be happen to be 0, then when the ki is nothing but the ki critical. So like this we are going to determine the ki critical value. After calculating this ki critical, then you substitute the values is given in the data, you keep it in this expression, you will get the directly ki critical, that is 0.3278. So this is one important expression, and one more important derivation is so this we have discussed, K critical is equal to F naught by 8H into B plus 1 by R whole square. So next, dynamic response of two area. So dynamic response of two area system. So in the last class, we have discussed about static response or steady state response, and this dynamic response is important to know, because see sometimes what happens in the steady state. Now if you are taking about if you are talking about, see, suppose if the response is like this, suppose this is the time, this is nothing but, it may be, because I am talking about the two area, so this may be tie line power of the frequency. Now suppose, let me assume these are nothing but the tie line power, this is delta p tie line. So up to this, let me assume there are few oscillations are there, the oscillations may be like this, right? So from here onward, this is nothing but the steady state. Now, suppose sometimes, if any time, if we may get a doubt that delta P tie 1 of, or this is nothing but the, that is the power supplied by area 1 through tie line. That is the meaning of this, is nothing but the power supplied by area 1, and this is the available power in the tie line from 1 to 2. Suppose if that total area is nothing but, if it has only two areas. So this power, if you could draw with respect to the time, then that is approximately this might be the shape. Now immediately by seeing this, sometimes we may get with a curiosity or something else. Now if you want to calculate the frequency, what about the frequency? Because oscillating, this tie line power is nothing but, it is simply oscillating in the nature. If it is oscillating in the nature, what about the frequency of oscillations? Now, how can we calculate this frequency of oscillations? And again, the same problem here. Again, you have to go for the dynamic response only. Because in the starting, because now we used to study two cases, steady state response or static response, or and dynamic response. The steady state response or static response is nothing but, in its name only, completely after the oscillations, after this damping as dies out, or if the oscillations completely vanishes from the response, then the period is called as a steady state period. Till that oscillations dies out, now whatever the system response or the pattern the response is following like this, this is nothing but, this is called as a dynamic response in the nature. So this is the dynamic up to this. Once the oscillations dies out, then steady state will come into picture. So now what is our interest here? I want to calculate what about the frequency of oscillations. How much frequency? What is that frequency? With what frequency the tie line power will have, or what is the frequency of this tie line power? So this is completely oscillating in the nature. If it is oscillating, what is the frequency? So I am going to determine the frequency of oscillations. Now here, from the basics of control theory, we know that there are two frequencies. One is the frequency, maybe natural frequency of oscillations, natural frequency of oscillations, and next one is damping frequency of oscillations. There are two things are there, damping frequency of oscillations. So what is this damping system, natural system? Suppose if the oscillations are continuously, it will be there in the system with the constant magnitude, and the magnitude and the frequency are same, then the frequency of oscillations are nothing but the natural frequency of oscillations. If the system's output is like this, Now up to some period there are some oscillations. After some time period the oscillations are completely dies out. So what is the reason the oscillations is goes on decreasing as time progresses from t is equal to 0 onwards means generally every system will have its own opposition for the change of its behavior that makes that will oppose the penetration of or that magnitude. Because of that opposition the magnitude it will be goes on decreasing as the time progresses from t is equal to 0. So such type of behavior is called as a damping behavior. Damping behavior is nothing but as time progresses the magnitude goes on decreasing. If the magnitude goes on decreasing, certainly there will be a change in the frequency also. So that frequency is nothing but the damping frequency of oscillations. So natural frequency normally it will be happen in the steady state behavior. So that's why I am not going to calculate this. My interest is here if the behavior is like this. Now once the system is coming to the steady state means before coming to the steady state, now what about the frequency the particular parameter, either it is frequency or tie line power is having, how much of frequency the tie line power is having. Now I want to determine that. So that is nothing but damping frequency of oscillations. So if you want to calculate this damping frequency, so you have to go for dynamic response of the system. So a simple derivation I'm presenting for the better understanding. Now here it is, already I have derived this. So we know that. So one more important observation here, in order to furtherly simplify this damping constant also. So this damping constant, that is nothing but the B of two areas are also neglected, because now from the beginning also we observed that B is very, very smaller than R. So B is very, very smaller than 1 by R. So in order to, because this dynamic response is nothing but in the two area system. Now in the single area system, 3 time constants, 1 integrator, 4th order, and in a two area system additional 3. So totally 7th order system. So 7th order system means 8 partial fractions you are going to get. 8 partial fractions means you imagine how much of time it will take if we people are not going to take the approximations. So that's why in addition to that ksg into kt equal to 1, this is the one approximation. This is a normally generally is a common approximation. And one more approximation is time constants are equal to 0 for both the areas. And one more approximation is b1 is equal to b2 is equal to 0, because it has a genuinity, that is b is very, very smaller than 1 by r. And why this many number of approximations means, for a simple single area isolated power system, 3 one generator, one time generator time constant, next one is the turbine time constant, next speed governor time constant. There are 3 time constants and one PI controller. So the order of the system is nothing but the 4th order. So next one is similarly for the second area also, with this PI again 4 more. Suppose even in the absence of PI controller, 3 plus 3 6 plus one more, that delta f, and this one integrator will be there now, delta f1 and delta f2. So this is 2 pi t12 by s. So one more. So normally you will get the 7th order system. So 7th order system means
డ్రాగ్ పకోడా సిల్లి బయటకు వచ్చింది అలాగే.
so totally there are 8 partial fractions are there. So 8 partial fractions means it is a very time consuming process. So that's why we are going to take so many approximations. The approximations are b1 is equal to b2 is equal to 0 is one approximation, tsg and t2 is equal to 0 for both the areas. So and ksg into kt is nothing but it is 1. So like that. And so these are the approximations, and I told you very clearly why these many approximations are required also. So after that, delta pg1 minus delta pd1, this is a commonly generator load model expression, that is 2h1 by f naught into d by dt of b into sorry, delta F1 plus you will get B1 into delta F1. So anyhow, B1 we are going to ignore. So that's why I have not written this term. So delta Pg1 minus delta Pd1 minus delta Pti1 is equal to 2H1 by F0 into d by dt of delta F1. Similarly for the second also. And on taking the Laplace transform and if you are simplifying this, and taking the Laplace transform and if you are simplifying, so we will get delta f1 of s expression, delta f2 of expression, and also we have calculated delta pg1 of s also minus 1 by r1 into delta f1 of s, and delta pg2 of s also we have calculated this. And you take this total expressions at once, and on solving all these expressions, delta pg1 minus pd1 from here onwards, from here to last one, so delta p2 of s till this. Now if you are simplifying and if you are replacing, eliminating one by one parameter which are unwanted, exactly like delta pg1 is not required for us, only our interest is you have to calculate. So one parameter is nothing but the delta, sorry, delta p1, delta p ti is one parameter, delta f is another parameter. So except these two, the remaining parameters are nothing but the unwanted parameters. By simplifying, by only replacing suitable terms in one in another equation, you will get so this is the final expression you are going to get. Now delta p ti1 of s is equal delta pd2 of s minus delta pd1 of s divided by s square plus s into f naught by 2 r h plus 2 pi f naught into t12 by h into pi f naught into t12 by h. So this is a of course it is it looks like a tough only, but I am giving the complete derivations for this. You note down all these things expression directly. If you are simplifying that above 5 equations, you will straight away you will get the delta p ti1 of s is equal delta pd2 of s minus delta pd1 of s by s square plus s into f naught by 2. So don't confuse with rh and f naught. Only we used to get a term like kps by tps. Just now also in the previous expression also I told you very clearly, kps, these are nothing but unwanted parameters, because finally we want to see that expressions in b's and r's, and f naught is maybe there, and t12, because these are the common required parameters, and except these the remaining parameters you can eliminate, and h is also required, because now almost we have solved more than 20 problems in two area system and isolated system, and the data they will provide, the examiner will provide the data in terms of these values only. So that's why these parameters are important for us, and kps tps all these things not required, you can eliminate this in order to simplify the expression. So tps is nothing but 2h by b f naught. Now this what it looks, f naught by bb gets cancelled, f naught by 2h. So like this, don't worry by saying this all these things, anyhow that will be there in the derivation. You please take these notes and you have practice once and twice, you will get this complete expression. You need not remember anything here. Now from the above equation the following observations can be made. So what are the, so just now also in the previous expression, in the previous derivation we have studied that s square plus 2as plus b, this is the one expression, or otherwise omega or anything you can take. So this a or alpha if you are taking, so if you are comparing this with the standard expression, that the standard expression also have given here s square plus 2 alpha s plus omega square. In this one, now if you are comparing this term to term, now you will get alpha is equals this f naught by 2 rh is there. Now 2s we are expecting, so this alpha is equal to f naught by 4 rh, and omega is nothing but omega square, so that is 2 pi f naught t12 by h. So these are nothing but the alpha values and omega values. Now suppose if you have any doubts, you please refer the control theory, what you might have studied in your previous semesters, that will help you this also there in over damped case and critically damped systems and under damped systems also. The same thing I am representing here. Again I am recollecting the things. Alpha is equal to omega n, that is system is critically damped. Critically damped means the response is nothing but it is immediately reaching with a single oscillation to the unity value. So this value is equal to zeta is equal to 1. That is about the critically damped. Next, alpha is greater than omega n. Alpha is omega n means that will be more than, suppose if this is the output, now you will get more than 1. So it will not never comes to steady state at unity. So this is nothing but zeta is greater than 1. That is the over damped case. Next, alpha is less than omega n. So alpha is less than omega n means the oscillations are nothing but it will be the oscillations are like this. So for this, you are going to get the complex roots. Now this is the thing we require, because now the system response, now what type of response we observed in the previous slide. So it will be initially a very large magnitude. As time progresses, the oscillations are going down. So oscillations are nothing but the dies out. So this type of response. Now when the any system gives this kind of responses means, if the system's roots, that is nothing but the locations, the roots are nothing but the complex conjugates. That complex conjugates are nothing but the S12 is equal to minus alpha plus or minus j into omega d, j into omega d. That is nothing but the, you will get the complex conjugate locations or complex conjugate roots of the system. Now this is the main reason one can see because to see this kind of response. So larger magnitude, as time progresses, the oscillations are nothing but the going down. So goes on decreasing. So the in order to see this means indirectly this will happen in any system because of this kind of roots. So minus alpha plus or minus j omega d. So this omega d is nothing but that is the oscillating frequency. So omega d is nothing but now omega n square minus alpha square. Now already omega n is there and alpha square, alpha is also there. You substitute that values in the expression. So you will get directly, see, no, omega d is equal to alpha square omega n square. So this is the 2 pi f naught t12 by h omega n square. Omega is equal to this. So omega n square is nothing but the square root of this. So it will be eliminated minus alpha square. So f naught by 4 r. So here r you keep separately, because f naught by 4h, f naught by 4h is nothing but f naught by 16 h square, and already in the beginning we have ignored b. So if we want to incorporate this b, anyhow this is nothing but the just adjacent terms. So b plus 1 by r, and anyhow whole square will be there. So b plus 1 by r whole square, this is the one term, into f naught by 16 h square. So after any disturbance, so this is the finally, this is the important expression you have to remember for damping frequency of oscillation. 2 pi f naught t12 by h minus b plus 1 by r whole square into f naught by 16 h square. So this is the expression, very very important expression. Today we have discussed two expressions, and in the in alpha also, if you want to incorporate b, then f naught by 4h into b plus 1 by r, just now what we did for the second term. So this is also I am highlighting here. So with the help of these two these two expressions, we are going to solve one more problem. So next problem is, determine the frequency of oscillations of the tie line power deviation. Tie line power is nothing but the P tie 1 or 1 or 2, whatever it may be. Deviation. So deviation is nothing but the delta. For a two deviation, for a two identical area system, I think this is typed mistakenly. Two identical systems directly. This will be for deviation for a two identical area system given the following data. So R value they have given 3 hertz per unit megawatt, inertia constant also 5 seconds, nominal frequency 60 hertz. The tie line has a capacity of 0.1 per unit and is operating at power angle 45 degrees. Suppose if we could recollect, so we have defined synchronizing coefficient, that is T12 is equals T12 is equals, just V1 into V2 by PR1 into X12 cos of delta 1 naught minus delta naught 2. So this is the expression. Now we call this as a synchronizing coefficient. This is a synchronizing coefficient. So this is furtherly, this is nothing but we habituated to write this is nothing but the maximum value, because in terms of the per unit only, because PR1 is there. So this is nothing but the per unit value. So this value V1 V2 by PR1 into X12 is nothing but what is this value in per unit only. You can represent some any P maximum or T, or you can write T also, T maximum in per unit into cos delta 1 naught minus delta naught. So cos, you can write cos delta 1 2. So what is this Tm per unit? Anything, any data is available here? Yes. The tie line has a capacity of 0.1 per unit. So tie line capacity is T maximum is nothing but the 0.1 into cos of whatever the operating angle of that tie line is nothing but the 45 degrees. So directly you will get the whatever the synchronization coefficient, that is the synchronizing power coefficient is equal, this is the 0.707. Now next one is the frequency of oscillations. The frequency of oscillations omega d is equal to 2 pi t1 to f naught by h minus f naught by 4h into b plus 1 by r whole square. Now we are I have taken f naught by 4h into the bracket. Otherwise, if you are writing out of this bracket, then f naught square by 16h square will be there. Otherwise, you can represent or you can write this total value outside the bracket or inside the bracket. Inside the bracket means f naught by 4h into b plus 1 by r whole square. So this is the expression. If you are substituting, now f naught is how much? 60h, and T12 it will be there. T12 already we have calculated 0.707, and H already I think he has given. Where is it now? Yes, inertia constant 5 seconds. And next one is B. Where is that B value? So B not given. So B is not given. So in that cases you can ignore that. No matters. And R is nothing but R is equal to, they have given 3 hedges. You substitute all the value, you will get the 2.1 radians per second. What is this? This is nothing but the omega d. But what he has given, determine the frequency of oscillations. So frequency of oscillations means omega d is nothing but you can write 2 pi f d. So fd is nothing but omega d by 2 pi. So already we have calculated omega d, that is 2.1 radians per second by 2 into pi. If you are substituting in this one, you will get 0.33 hertz frequency. So this is the frequency of oscillations. The frequency of oscillations is 2.1 by 2 pi, that is 0.33 hertz. So here, if you have any doubts, you can interrupt me at any time. So next, I think time is not sufficient. A two identical area power system has the following parameters. Two identical areas has the following parameters. So power system gain constant, he has given KPS, he has given 105. Power system time constant TPS, he has given 22 seconds. Speed regulation, he has given normal frequency 50 Hz. Governor time constant 0.3 seconds. Turbine time constant. So he has given KPS, KSG, and KT. And what are these two are nothing but identical. So that is either 1 or 2, whatever it may be the area. So both are same. So KPS1 is equal to KPS2, that is nothing but the KPS. KSG1, KSG2 is equal to KSG. KT1, KT2 is equal to KT. You substitute all the values in this one. So normal frequency 50 Hz, governor time constant, turbine constants. Now in addition to this, he has given TSG, TT, and next TPS. So no matters whether it is area 1 or area 2, because they have given it is identical in the nature, two are identical. So in addition to this, integrator time constant KI 0.15, bias parameter. What is this bias parameter? Bias parameter is nothing but the B. So identical means B1 is equal to B2. And 2 pi T12 also they have given directly. 2 pi T12 is equal to 0.08. Now he is asking us plot the change in the tie line power and change in the frequency of control area 1. So he is asking us to plot the change in the tie line power. So that is nothing but the delta P tie 1 and change in the frequency of control area 1. So both are of area 1 if there exists a step load change of 2% in area 1. Suppose if there is a change of exists a step load change of 2% in area 1. So 2% in area 1 means how much it is. So delta PD is nothing but the 2% in where? In area 1. So it means whatever the delta PD2, it is nothing but it is 0. So first you have to plot means you have to plot with the any with which digital simulation we are convenient. You have to use the digital simulation tools to plot this change in tie line power and the change in the frequency. So these are essential things. So that's why. So here you have to keep in mind that delta PD2 is equal to 0. So but generally what about the composite block diagrams? So composite block diagrams are nothing but this is one summer. Here this is the PI controller. This is PI of 1 and then again one more summer it will be there, and this is speed governor 1, then turbine 1, then one summer, then next one is nothing but one generator 1, then one summer, then from here to 2 pi T12 by S, and from here this is the delta P type 1, and from here to one signal it will be coming here, this is the minus, then again from here to here one more signal it will be coming, this is the positive, and this is also positive. So this is the delta P type 1. So this is also there. So let us mark neatly. This is minus and this is plus. And what about this? This is the delta PD1. This is nothing but the step change, right? Now this is the delta F1. Now from here you have to take the two signals. One is 1 by R1 and it will be given to the negative plate. This is the positive plate. Same signal with a block of B1 you have to give to the this one. So this is about the control area 1. In this one, this is finite, right? Now on the right side if you are seeing, sorry, the direction is reverse, sorry, I'm extremely sorry. So this is the generator 2, then again there will be a summer. This summer will have two things, and here this is minus A12 and this is delta P type 2 of S. And what about this value? This is nothing but the delta PD2 is equal to 0. So you can eliminate this. So this is minus and this is plus, and then this is the turbine 2, and then this is speed governor 2, then next one is one summer it will be there. So from here to this is 1 by R2, this is 1 by R2, then again then PI controller KI2 by S, then again one summer it will be there. So this is one thing, and here B will be there, that is nothing but the B2, then it will be connected to here. This is positive and this is also positive. So this whole diagram, this complete diagram, by keeping delta PD2 is equal to 0. So finally you have to keep a scope here. In this scope, how many parameters you have to observe? Now there are so two parameters. He is asking about you have to plot the change in the tie line power and the change in the frequency of control area. So change in the frequency means directly you give one signal here, and next one is the tie line power. Now from here to here you give the two things. So what is the best digital simulation tool to plot this change in the tail end power and the change in the frequency. That is none other than our MATLAB Simulink. So let me explain about from the fundamentals this MATLAB and Simulink in the next class, because this many number of blocks where to draw, and I don't know, once again I'm repeating. So there is you already I have shared this MATLAB official 2020 version links in our group, what is that, WhatsApp groups. You please log in to that MATLAB version and try to complete that ramp exams are there in that one. Those are the certification exams. That certifications are very very important for you for your future, and those are very simple also. You need not worry. You please register yourself for that ramp certifications, or if anybody have interest, you text me or you can directly call me. I will tell you everything. Now you please log in into the 2020 version software. That is nothing but the, I think, MATLAB Academy, and on the left side you can find MATLAB Online. You go to that. In that one you can find this Simulink models also. This is Simulink versions also in the online, and you can execute any program in the online. You can develop Simulink models also. So this is the very friendly version. Now those people, that MATLAB people, are providing it free of cost for the domain mail IDs. If you are registering through your Gmail or any other mail IDs, they won't accept. Only the domain mail ID is nothing but your hall ticket number @ire.ac.in. So you please use these versions to create your MATLAB accounts, and you can access all the modules. Now those are presently existing in MATLAB version. So there's the same tomorrow also.